What's up guys, it's Malik from the Mad Mix here. Today I'm going to be interviewing a content writer, influencer, a digital marketer, and probably the biggest beer nerd you'll ever meet in your life, my good friend Mike Burton.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Mike?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's talk a little bit about your blog, The Bottomless Pint.
So The Bottomless Pint started as I met my buddy Matt Renda, who, it was really weird. We'd gone to high school together and then not really talked for years, and then we met at just a not so beery event one day and talked about it, and he mentioned he had this blog. And so I'm like, oh, that's cool, I'm kind of into craft beer, I'd like to write it with you. So over the last I think it's been 3 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Three and a half years now. We've been doing long form editorial content, sort of a commentary on the craft beer universe within Toronto and Ontario, focusing on things like, not so much beer reviews, because in my opinion those are kind of boring. Nobody wants to hear what you think. They want to taste it for themselves, as they should. A lot of contests and event coverage, and then just general commentary on the beer industry as a whole. I've run The Bottomless Pint now by myself for just about a year, and it's really moved away from the long form content. People really like that snackable stuff that they're finding on my Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm linking to the blog a lot less and a lot more of sort of this commentary, Twitter, Instagram, and really interacting and engaging with the audience a little more than just sort of presenting content out for them to consume on their own.
So what got you into digital marketing, digital advertising?
Well, I worked for a large gaming company, and I was in sales, and I've always really liked the idea behind the analysis of consumer psychology. And being the sort of tech nerd person that I am that likes to remain current, I decided to combine both of those things. So I went to school for advertising, landed at an agency, and naturally sort of just picked up digital. And when you talk about things like digital, the rise of programmatic, ad science, all of that stuff is super interesting to me. And now I'm taking a step back, looking at it from a little bit of a higher level, and it's a really different world, one that I haven't yet mastered. I do like it. Advertising is a fun industry. I would get really bored if I was in a job that I didn't learn something new every day. Totally. You always learn something new.
Yeah. So let's say I was one of your clients who was more into a traditional media buy or a media set. Let's say out of home, print, all that good stuff. Broadcast especially.
Whoa.
Whoa. How would you sell me a digitally focused buy for someone who is so ingrained in holding on to a more traditional media set?
Well, I think you tend to get a little cocky about your advertising as being, things like traditional being meaningless. I've adjusted my view a little bit on that, because I feel that we have to take this back, and we have to remember that at the core, advertising does not produce sales. Advertising is there to keep product or service X at top of mind, or brand X at top of mind.
Absolutely.
So you don't do that by appearing on Twitter alone, but you also don't do that by appearing on TV alone, right? So it's in the mix, right? You know what I mean? It's the marketing mix. It's in the mad mix. It's in the mix. So it's the marketing mix is extremely important, and I think that what people really have to pick up is the appropriateness of a medium. So my immediate analysis to answer your question would be, what's your demo? Off the top, right? Like, if you're trying to reach people who are 65 plus, it might not be a digital heavy skew, right?
Absolutely.
But I think that if you're going for like an 18 to 34 and even 18 to 54, which encompasses most of the Canadian population, your mix is important. And I think that's what my point would be, is that we can't go, cutting ourselves off the knees on any channel. Just like I would never say absolutely not TV or like for that wide demo. I think it's in the mix, and it's the importance is to remain top of mind on every occasion in which a person can interact with the world around them.
All right, craft beer has definitely blown up in the last 10 years. Why do you think that is?
I honestly think that the reason it's blown up is because people, not suddenly, but they've discovered that there's a choice. Like, that's how I got started. Like, I've drank a beer that shall not be named, like just macro garbage for years, because it was just what you did.
Right.
Like, that was beer. So. Yeah. Literally, just one day you just pick up a steam whistle and you're like, whoa, and then you go the next time to the LCBO and you realize, like, oh, there are other beers like this that people are making, and that involvement, it snowballs. And it's people just want something different. The beer doesn't have to be laborious or bland or just like an alternate beverage, right? Like it can hold up to wine. It can hold up to cocktails. It's now, I think, people have been looking at craft for really high quality cocktails. People have so much respect for these bartenders that are making these awesome drinks, and like it's sort of an underworld of nightlife in the service industry. But beer has earned its place now as sort of a it takes hard work to make.
I guess it would be comparable to wine, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the winemaking process is totally different, and I don't like to put them necessarily in the same universe, simply from the perspective of, people respect wine, and they have a lot of, like you get into your early mid-30s, you drink a lot of wine for some reason. Like, it's like, like your parents probably drink wine, right? Like, they would never necessarily reach for a Rodenbach Grand Cru or like some of those like really hefty beers that you can get from like Italy or Belgium or... And people don't realize they exist. So that's part of the reason that I love this, is opening people's eyes, because whenever I'll take somebody new, or usually it'll be like, we've done it together, you and I, and then you'll bring a friend that doesn't necessarily know, and like, we'll just be like, hey, like, try these. And 99% of the time, you can nail their taste. Like, what do you normally drink? And you hit it and like, whoa, what is this? Where's this been all my life?
So Mike, part of the interview segment, I asked you to bring in a couple of your favorite beers for me to try.
I did.
Yeah. Let's bring them in.
Alright, what do you want to get started on here, Matt?
Let's go with this one.
Let's go with this guy? Okay, cool. So what do you need to know?
Tell me what you know.
Okay, so what I brought you today is one from my personal favorite brewery, Bellwoods. This is a collaboration with a brewery from Boston, I believe, called Trillium. And it's a double IPA. It hangs out at about 8%, so we'll save that for second because its hop flavors are pretty poignant. Sure. This is by a brewery straight out of Ontario called Nickelbrook, and it's called Uncommon Element. It's a Brett Pale Ale. You know that I was going to get Brett in here.
Of course.
And what Brett is, it's an alternate yeast that continues to ferment the unfermentable sugars that regular yeast leaves behind. But this particular one is special because they didn't do the first fermentation.
Okay.
So they only used Brett. So it did pour pretty terribly.
I know what that means.
Because it's got quite a bit of a body in the head here, because it is still bottle conditioned. So actually at this point, while that settles, we can pour you this one.
Sure.
So this is called Cutting Bells. Like I said, it's a double IPA. It's made with a brewery called Trillium from Boston, and it uses Niagara wildflower honey. So you can see the difference in color there that both the honey and the amount of dry hops gives it there. It looks like some fresh morning OJ. But yeah, here, tuck in there, pal.
All right, let's try this. I'm officially...
Let's do it together.
Okay, cheers, man.
Cheers. Oh God, I'm so hungover.
Yup, that's beer. All right, I want to try this.
Yeah,
one.
that's beer.
I'm biased because I like the Bellwoods one more.
Yeah.
Just because Bellwoods holds a certain special place in my heart.
It's special to you.
Yeah, so this is fantastic. Mike, what you don't know is that, I asked you to bring in a couple of your favorite beers here.
Okay.
But I want you to try one of my favorite beers that I think you'll love. Could I bring it over?
I'm scared.
Okay, so we have a Budweiser Prohibition Brew. We're not even gonna get a glass for this one. I'd love for you to try it. It's one of my personal favorites.
Is it even cold?
Yeah, it's cold at least. It's cold at least. So we're gonna try it. This is a non-alcoholic beverage that Mike's gonna try.
Okay.
All right. I want you to analyze this like you would analyze one of these.
A flavor analysis?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So it makes it hard to view the color, because the first thing you should do when you drink a beer is check out the color.
Sure.
But I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's completely transparent and gold, because that's exactly.
Why don't we use this one?
Oh, you want to use this one? Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, it's as see-through as the glass I poured into.
It doesn't look that different from the... Oh wait, never mind. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So actually, this is interesting. So you can see here that this is filtered, and this is obviously unfiltered.
Okay.
So I can't. The fact that we have these two on the same table is like cardinal sin. Like I can't even. Like I should put this on the floor. Anyway, no. Okay. So Budweiser Prohibition Lager is completely transparent, gold. Smells like corn syrup. I can't believe you're making me do this. Oh, added of course phosphoric acid to make sure it doesn't go bad.
Sure. How's it taste?
It tastes honestly like nothing.
Rated out of 10.
Banana. Banana out of 10. It is absolutely terrible.
Awesome, great. That concludes this little interview segment. Mike, I hope you had a great time. We had an awesome time sampling these different types of beers, learning a little bit about what you do. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, of course, man.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thanks, guys. That was an interview with Mike Burton, beer expert, digital marketing expert, and overall great guy. Thanks for tuning in.